feet. 102. Yeah. Here's just a short review of the Freewing MORAY from MotionRC that you just saw flying in the video. You can see here it comes in two color schemes, red and orange. The red one is the one I'll be showing you here today. Comes in a nice small box in a foam crate. You can see here everything's really nicely laid out. One-piece wing, everything's nicely packaged, elevators, fuselage, and some hardware over on that side. Let me go ahead and pull it out and give you a closer look at all the parts. Here's the layout of all the parts that came out of the box. This is a very simple build, guys. Only just a few screws to put this thing together. You get the wing panel all ready to go with carbon spars and the aileron servo mounted and ready to go. The two elevator halves are ready to be bolted right on. And the fuselage comes complete with motor, speed controller, prop and spinner. Everything's installed, ready to go. They give you a small parts bag with screw fuselage type doublers and a screwdriver, and of course the instruction manual. Just a few things to note about the instruction manual on this plane. Like with all Freewing airplanes, as you put it together, it doesn't show you the screw sizes in the building portion. You actually have to flip to this last page where it actually shows you each sub-assembly and what size screws to use for which part. Also, the center of gravity, that's another important thing to note. 50 to 60 millimeters, let's see, aft of where the leading edge of the wing plugs into the fuselage, and that'll give you a good flyable CG. Here's my completed Freewing MORAY, and it went together really quick. All you need is to put in is 5 screws, and you need just a few minutes and it goes together. The aileron servo in the middle just comes up through the fuselage, hooks into the receiver, and all you need to do is install these 3 screws for the wing. You can see there's a little arrow here to indicate which direction is forward for the doubler that gets positioned here, and this doubler as well has an arrow. And that's it, the wing's installed. Tail is pretty much the same way. The carbon spars plug into each side, and the elevators are securely in place with just 1 screw on this side and 1 screw on this side. The rods and linkages are pre-installed. All you need to do is loosen the screw on the servo end up front, pull each rod down, and connect the clevises to the horns, and then retighten the screw on the servo up front. And that's it. The MORAY is together. Although the MORAY from Freewing is a relatively simple racing airplane, I found that it really has a couple of nice features to it that really make it stand out. First and foremost, as you saw, it's really easy to get together, but the wing itself is very, very rigid. They used a beam type spar running all the way through for the front one, and then there's another beam type spar, 2 halves that run along here. And that makes for a really, really rigid wing. It's really tough to bend this thing, and it should make for a sort of a great racing plane. It has a real nice finish to it. As you can see, it's aileron, elevator, and throttle. No rudder on this thing. It's really just built for speed and zooming around. A couple features I found that I really liked concerning the propeller and the spinner is they put a lot of cooling into this airplane. This hole up front actually goes right over, passes through the spinner and into the motor compartment and everything. There's also cooling under here that goes directly to the speed controller, and it all comes out the back via this cooling port. So they definitely had speed in mind with this thing, and cooling was definitely one of their top concerns. Pretty typical to Freewing are all the T hinges that they put in that really make for probably some of the nicer hinges in the industry. Same thing on the tail. There's 2 on each one, but they're all the hinges are sealed up as well because they're all foam hinges also. Overall, real impressed with this thing, guys. It's a very sturdy, very rugged little speed plane. One suggestion I have for the aileron push rods is to file away or cut off a little bit of the end of these 2 rods here. I found in mine they were very close to the battery, and by reducing the size of them and cutting the end off here and filing them flat, you'll reduce the chance of them puncturing the battery. Just a few things to note about the battery compartment hatch. They put this nice antenna looking handle to grab onto that seems to work real well, and plenty of magnets to keep this thing in position. The inside of the battery compartment is relatively simple. Your elevator servo is back here. You can see receiver. There's plenty of space to install a receiver. It's just Velcroed in. I ran an antenna all the way, or antenna tube I should say, all the way to the back, so I get a nice straight antenna lead going backwards away from all the electronics. And the other one I put right here, which again is perpendicular to the other antenna, and you can see I just taped it down. I inserted it down here between the wood bulkhead there, or the wood tray, and I actually stuck it into the foam there a little bit. But that way, again, it's perpendicular to the other antenna. As you can see here, the battery, this is a special pack actually. It's a 1600 milliamp 4-cell kind of stubby pack you get from MotionRC. It is actually specifically designed for this plane. And the idea of it is to get all the weight as far back as possible to get the CG right on this plane. And you can see it contacts this bulkhead right here. And the battery lead connects, as you can see here, just right over the top of the battery. And mine is stuck in here. Let me see if I can get this thing out. You can see it runs right over the top of the battery, and the battery compartment cover is hollowed out, so there's plenty of room to fit this. This strap is something that I added. I had one sitting around. I did use Velcro and a strap on this thing, but if you want to add a strap you can, but you don't really need to. I just put one in there just because I know I'll probably fly this plane pretty aggressively. There's a plastic tray down here for the battery to sit on. They already put the Velcro on there for you, and they supply the Velcro to put on your batteries as well. You can see the ESC power wire, receiver wire, and aileron wire I ran through this center section, and that seems to really give really good clearance. As I showed you all before, if you look way down into the compartment there, you can see the aileron push rods, and where in the earlier clip I showed you where I trimmed those off. I found that by putting the battery all the way up to the edge of this thing, this tray to get the CG right, I found that those things were actually poking into the battery a little bit. So by trimming them down a little bit, you can see now you can get quite a bit, you should be able to get all your throw out of that servo without having to worry about the tips of those things you know, puncturing your battery or anything like that. But as you can see, guys, it's a real simple layout, and again, this whole cockpit goes on nice and securely, and it clips down really nice strong magnets to keep the compartment in place. A couple last minute items to talk about on the Freewing Moray. Again, it has a huge battery compartment, and nearly any battery will fit in this airplane. But this stubby pack I found mounted all the way up against this receiver tray here balances this airplane perfectly at 50 millimeters. And when I put my fingers on these two balance marks on the underside, the plane balances perfectly right on that. So if you do use a longer battery pack in here, it's going to shift your CG a little farther forward. So if that happens, this is the kind of plane that you'll probably need to add a little tail weight. This whole tail section here lends itself very well to that. You can cut a little hole under here, put some lead weights, or even just push some nails right into the foam and push them down in, put a piece of tape over it. You'll never even know it's there. So again, a lot of battery options for this airplane. Now, a couple things to note when hand launching this airplane. I have found that the best way to hand launch this thing is underhand, like you saw in the video. So you hold it like this and literally throw it actually almost straight up in the air at full throttle. I found this to be the best way. Every time we tried to hand launch it like this, overhand over our shoulder, the plane did a big torque roll and a yaw off to the left, and really kind of headed straight towards the ground. So now even if you hand launch it like this underhand, the plane is going to torque roll and yaw to the left, but it doesn't aim towards the ground. It actually just heads towards level flight. So again, as you saw in the video, that seems to be the way to hand launch this airplane. Now when you're landing this thing, it's a real good idea to keep your eye on the propeller just prior to touchdown. When you bring this thing to idle, the prop will windmill a little bit, but it does have enough prop brake designed into the ESC that the prop will have a positive stop. And if you notice that it stops in this vertical position, as you land, you could break the prop off. So To avoid that, if you see this happen, just blip your throttle a little bit, not too much because you don't want the plane to sort of torque roll a little bit. But if you just blip your throttle a little bit and just give it a little bit of throttle and spin the propeller around just a little bit, you can get it to ultimately stop so it's horizontal, again, because the ESC is programmed with that prop brake. So far I haven't broken a single prop with this airplane by simply watching the propeller. Now 9 times out of 10 it does seem to stop relatively horizontally, and even if it's at a little bit of an angle like this, when you lay on the grass will just kind of knock it horizontally. But that's one thing to just kind of keep your eye on, and you can control this propeller and where it stops if you're keeping your eye on the prop as you're landing. Now one more thing I did to my airplane, hopefully just to boost the speed a little bit, is I noticed that the trenches here for the spars and for these little torque tubes and these holes were kind of deep, maybe created a little drag, and you can see I put some Scotch tape over them just to sort of clean the airplane up and maybe just kind of reduce the drag a little bit and get the speed up there a bit. And whether you do that or not to your airplane, it's not real necessary, but the airplane is fast regardless. In fact, I took the airplane out in this configuration today and did some radar runs on it here with the pocket radar. And these are some of the speeds I got: 88, 81, 93, 85, 105, 82, 87, and 103. So real fast airplane, guys. And these pocket radars you can get at MotionRC. We've compared them with other K-band radar guns, and they're really just as accurate, and it's a nice small unit. Overall, guys, it's a really nice package. If you're looking for really an inexpensive plane that builds fast, that's fun to fly, relatively easy to hand launch if you launch it underhanded, and it just lands fantastic, as you can see from the video. I can definitely highly recommend this airplane. I've had just tons and tons of fun flying this thing around. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking out this review. Check out RCINFORMER.com, RCINFORMER on Facebook. And once again, we'll see you next time.